Hey, how's it going, class? My name is Dion Cook, and I'll be giving you a brief description of 5 events from my timeline. So let's get started. The first event I'd like to speak about is the creation of the Sumerian calendar in 3100 BC. And what made this calendar different from others is that it was made up of lunar cycles. Also, another unique aspect of this calendar is the measurement of time was unique. They were actually the first to introduce the 6-12-60 time measurements, which is 12 months in a year, 24 hours in a day, but those 24 hours are split into 12-hour shifts that we know today as AM and PM. They had 60-minute hours and 60 seconds in a minute as well. The second event I'd like to speak about is the development of planetary motion in 1605 by Johannes Kepler. Here he describes how planets have elliptical orbits with the sun as a focus. He also describes how planets cover the same area no matter where it is in orbit. And lastly, how a planet orbital period is proportional to the size of its orbit. This was actually a great stride in astronomy. You'll see on my timeline that 3 years later, the first telescope was even discovered. The third event I'd like to speak about is the creation of the steam engine in 1712 by Thomas Newcomen. So he actually created this to pump water from coal mines, but it would be used for things such as steam power machines and transportation such as locomotives. The steam engine was actually a vital piece in the Industrial Revolution as people went away from hand making items and started using machines. And people also left their homes and started working in factories in 1790. The fourth event I'd like to speak about is the creation of the airplane in 1903 by Orville and Wilbur Wright. And the creation of the airplane just boosted the power movement. Within a few years, it would be used for surveillance and reconnaissance and military operations. And by World War II, it would be an integral piece of the war. Lastly, I'd like to speak about the pacemaker that was developed in 1956 by William Greatbatch. Actually, a great name, by the way, by a great mind. So he actually created this on accident. He was initially trying to create an oscillator to record heart sounds, but he inadvertently installed a resistor with the wrong resistance, and the device began pulsating. He kept experimenting with the device, and 4 years later, it was placed in the first human patient. So those are my events, and lastly is my big takeaway from this is all these items from all these different time frames, they were created based on the economy. So what I mean by that is with the creation of the steam engine and locomotives and transportation, people didn't necessarily have to live next to water. So that became the birth of major cities, and you start seeing stuff like factories and things of that nature. But really, some of these minds were just beyond their time. And it's actually impressive to see some of this just critical thinking and inventions that these guys made that were hundreds of years past their time now. We still use most of these items. I hope you enjoyed my video. I appreciate any feedback you can give me, and thank you.